Inside the mind of this dangerously lost dropout, you will find an elaborate world ironically built on emptiness. This is Favor for Gamer reviewing Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods is a story-driven adventure, which means if you need constant action to enjoy a game, this is not going to be for you. However, if you like characters with layers, quirky but entertaining dialogue, and a mostly well-written story, I suggest you keep watching. You play as May, an angsty 20-year-old girl that'll make you relive any insecure moment you've ever had. May has dropped out of college for reasons that will be clearer as you progress. Running back home, she finds that her hometown, Possum Springs, has drastically changed. And much to her surprise, her friends have a lot less time on their hands and don't plan on staying put. To add to all that, weird things keep happening around town, and not to mention an astral plane that seems to be where May makes sense of her feelings. May's friends are, in short, pretty damn awesome. You have B, who's always rough around the edges and always real about everything, Greg, who's just as mischievous as he is kind and hyper, and Angus, the quiet and polite voice of reason. It's a very interesting group that serves as a vessel for the story. Unlike Life is Strange and games made by Telltale, Night in the Woods communicates to you with just text and minimal reaction, and I can safely say that nothing feels lost with this choice of narrative. I really felt like I was reading a bunch of millennials' texts and convos. IMing your friends and recollecting the day with them was very nostalgic, but the main reason why I forgave the absence of voice acting was the soundtrack. The soundtrack is lo-fi but still grand, and helps the game's aura flourish. Every song feels like an extension from the previous one, being different but still preserving a tone of energetic melancholy. The sound design didn't fall flat either. While you are watching a play, you hear sounds of coughing and people moving in their chair. I highly recommend headphones for a cinematic feel. On a day-to-day basis, you will be spending almost all of your time exploring and visiting friends in town, which isn't a bad thing most of the time. The town's liveliness is established with many things to look at and people to talk to. Each person brings up a topic that's different from the last. A grumpy neighbor that can't stand you, an acquaintance who is eager to show you her poems, and employees rallying to overthrow their boss. I just wish these conversations maintain my interest. They never grow from their initial topic. It makes doing your rounds very predictable sometimes. There's also several things you can check up on, but you will find out that most of these things don't change. In short, outstanding big picture, but very rushed details. Now, this isn't to be confused with Nights with Friends in Demon Tower. Hanging out with your friends always reveals a lot and sparks up very good conversation. The levels are designed great as they are different and move the story. The mini-games almost serve as a page turn in a book, a micro moment to reflect and build suspense. And if you ever need a drastic break from talking, you can always hop into Demon Tower, a basic dungeon crawler that's a lot more fun than it looks. But the coolest breakaway from perusing the town is the Astral Plane. This occurrence will let May let loose, leaving the player to make sense of what's going on. I don't want to reveal too much, but there is something very majestic about finding ghosts to complete an otherworldly song. And here's a quick tip. Make sure to pay attention to the little details of Possum Springs, so you can get the most out of these parts. And if you haven't put it together, this game is not very cheery. There is a lingering, ominous feel that will rear its ugly head without warning. One instance of this was May's self-talk. You have to pick what she doubts about herself, and I got chills when I realized it was more of a pick-your-poison type of decision, each thought ripping herself apart and choosing which distorted thought she was going to have towards people. Night in the Woods is a game that I'll definitely be replaying. Yes, the potential of this game towers above where they took it. Its biggest faults are things feeling rushed and the pacing seeming a lot more lazy than thoughtfully placed, but it's a creative and fun depiction of that stage in life. That unsure moment where you find out life isn't what's taught in school, how quickly friends can change, and the inability to vision the adult you'll turn out to be. As story games go, this is definitely worth a try. I also encourage it if you haven't played this genre and want a game that is nothing like you've played before. Lastly, I avoided giving you a play-by-play of the story for fear of ruining the experience, so I gathered some fan art that gives you a better idea as to what to expect. Thank you for watching Favor for Gamer.